Greetings and salutations, YouTubers. This is Zillafan85, representing YouTube's bargain basement of the airwaves. I'm back today with my latest video. Bit of a sort of a figure review today. This was a piece that I picked last year at Spooky Empire, so I've been wanting to, just do a little review on it. This is my X Plus Ray Harryhausen Film Library Ymir Resin statue, as it were. So not exactly a figure. Like I said, it's a resin statue, like a little diorama piece, but it's a really cool little figure nonetheless. I haven't seen too many of this particular one out in the wild. I see more of the resin statues that have the Ymir on the lab table. The Ymir, of course, was featured in the 1957 film 20 Million Miles to Earth. Of course, Ray Harryhausen, who, the special effects stop motion guru, and of course he worked on the effects for the film. So, nonetheless, though, a really cool little piece here. Just wanted to go ahead and do a little review on this guy. So let's go ahead and start with it here. The paint and the detail work. And forgive me, I'm trying something a little bit different today. I'm actually using my my tablet. So I just got a new tablet here and wanted to try it out. Granted, the video and photo quality is not as good as the phone, but like I said, I just wanted to experiment a little bit anyways. Just to try it out. So anyway, so as you can see here, so the Ymir has this very foresty green paint scheme for his body here. As we look at the paint and the detail work, there's a little bit of black wash as well, as you can see, like on the arms and whatnot, or on the legs. So nice little added touch of detail to give that little black wash there. Of course, as we look at the face here, they got sort of this tannish color with those, wrinkles and folds that he's got on the sides of his face by his maw there, his mouth. Very, very cool. And of course, you got like these, like orangish, reddish eyes, black dots for the pupils there. Very, very cool. Some sort of rivets above the eyes there. You guys can see, very signature of the Ymir's design. Got this fin on the top of his head. Again, all done in that, that foresty green, but then you got a little bit of tan on the tips of the fins there, so as you guys can kind of see. And of course, you got the inside of the mouth there. You got sort of this deep red or pinkish red, if you will. Nice detail work. You got the tongue captured in and everything. So, and then of course the teeth, sort of this off-white bone color. Fairly sharp to the touch, but very, very cool nonetheless. Got the ears protruding side of his head there. Again, done in that foresty green. And again, foresty green for the shoulders and arms and everything. You got all these nice osteoderms and scales that he's got along his body here. So really, really cool. I definitely like it a lot here. On the chest and abdomen, a bit of a mix of the tan and the green, a little bit of black wash there as well. Again, some nice texturing, nice detail work. Capture like his ribs and chest and all that. So very, very cool. Looking at the arms, again, some musculature as you look at all the scales and osteoderms and everything. Then of course you got the 3 claws that he's got for his hands. These done in this sort of tannish bone color, if you will. A cream or tan bone color. So, and again, fairly sharp to the touch. You guys can see in the insides of the paws, again, some wrinkles and lines and whatnot. And of course, done in that foresty green color for the most part. And as you look down to the legs, again, more of the osteoderms and scales. Very, very bumpy. You can really feel the texturing on it here. So it is an X Plus figure, so they are really second to none as far as detail work goes. But again, you got more of those You got like these line segments here done on the lower half of the legs there, almost like a bird-like, almost like those bird-like feet basically there. Very, very cool. And again, the 3 claws, again with all the lines and everything there. Nice and sharp as it goes into the little base piece here. We'll get to that in a second. On the back, again, more of this osteoderms and scales. All done in that foresty green color, a little bit of black wash mixed in. And of course you got the fin, which kind of runs down. You got going down his back and then goes down into the skin, and then protrudes out again as it goes down his tail. As you guys can see, again, done mostly in that foresty green, but a little hint of the tan mixed in as well, and a little bit of black wash even. Very, very cool. Again, more osteoderms and scales on his tail there, as you guys can see, and lots of lines and wrinkles and grooves all done throughout. And you got this this prong tip, two-tipped point on his tail here. Again, all mostly done that foresty green, and again a little bit of black wash mixed in here. So very, very cool. And then of course you got the base. I believe this is supposed to represent the Colosseum scene towards the end of the film with the Ymir. Very, very cool. You got like some of the rubble and whatnot. The base done mostly in this sort of concrete gray, if you will, but a little hint of like tan and whatnot, just to contrast there, I'd say. So you guys can see, and all the nice detail work done for like all the cobblestone whatnot. So very, very cool. On the bottom of the base, pretty plain Jane, but you got your trademark information there. So trademark 1957, 2001, CPI, which I believe is Columbia Pictures, and of course X Plus, made in China. So very, very cool, folks. So that pretty much covers it for his paint and detail work. For articulation, again, it's a resin statue, so it's just one solid piece, no articulation. As far as sizing on this guy, it's a smaller little statuette, if you will, a little diorama piece. So again, it is a smaller piece if you look at it, though. Try to bring that in there. So you're looking at the top of his head. I'd say about 2.5 inches that you're there. So anyway, it is a smaller piece, like I said, but still pretty cool looking nonetheless here. Sorry about that, folks. Just hit the camera thing, had to set it back up. But anyways, nonetheless, hopefully the camera wants to focus on this guy here. All right. Somewhat. But yeah, and as a little size comparison, again, it's a smaller little resin statue, but just so you guys can see what you're working with here, there is my SH Monster Arts 1954 Godzilla, and you can see the sizing and how that works out. So it's a pretty big size difference there. Again, it's just a small little resin statue. So I can't even get Godzilla into frame, and this is, yeah, definitely not going to be able to go much with the tablet in the future, because I can't even zoom out any more than that. So alrighty, but nonetheless, very, very cool here. As far as pricing goes on this, so like I said, this particular statue, I haven't really seen it out in the wild. Like I said, I just happened upon it at Spooky Empire last year, when I went and thought it was a cool piece. And again, I'm a big fan of Ray Harryhausen and all his films. I do like 20 Million Miles to Earth, so I didn't have an Ymir in my collection, so I thought this little resin statue would be a cool little pickup. But I've seen it go for ones that are similar to. There's other ones that X Plus did that are in like this sort of scale range. If you get them in box, you're probably looking at about $30 or so. Ones that are out of box like this, I'd say more in like a $20 range. Again, it is a small piece, so kind of par for the course. It's an older figure, but it is an X Plus and pretty well detailed. So, given that, it's definitely worth it, especially if you're a fan of the Ymir and of Ray Harryhausen in general. It's a really cool little pickup. The one that I mostly see from these resin statues is the Ymir on the lab table. That one I've definitely seen in abundance on like eBay and sites like that. So even to get that one's a cool pickup. But yeah, definitely you can't go wrong with these pieces. But I think that about covers it for the video, though, folks. Nothing too major here. This is probably going to be my last video for the year. So we'll look ahead into 2026. I don't know exactly the next time I will be posting as we go ahead into the new year. May take a little bit of a hiatus here as I've kind of been, but just a lot of different stuff going on that I've been dealing with. So videos are definitely few and far in between, but I'll get to them when I can. But other than that, though, folks, I hope everyone has a very happy holidays. Have fun, be safe, enjoy. And if you guys would like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. If you would like to like and or comment on any of my videos, please feel free to do so as well. And just remember, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you be good to yourselves, and sayonara.